If you need Pokemon TCG codes, make sure you stop by Town Store. They have automatic email delivery of all the code cards, and they have a really nice variety of stock of all the latest Sun and Moon sets along with all the promo cards. And make sure you use Tablemon code when you're checking out to get an extra 5% off. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new road to TCG Worlds 2020. We have the 2019 World Champion deck right here. In this video we are going to be reviewing 6 of the top 8 decks from this past weekend. Today's Monday. I am back home ready to get back into the grind of our Worlds 2020 road to the World Championship in London, which was a very pleasant surprise, not gonna lie. Fire M&M's ended up taking down the whole tournament. I was very surprised by this. This list, like if you substitute 4 acrobatics for 4 coach trainers, it's very similar to what I posted on day 1 of Unified Minds. Big congrats and props to Henry Brand, Joao, and all the people that worked on their list. Definitely a very good call for the tournament. And I'm surprised by some of the choices in this list. Most importantly, no reset stamp, but obviously it worked on the day. Mewtwo and Mew, the perfection ability allows you to copy any GX attack from your bench, or, well, any attack from Pokemon GX rather, from a Pokemon on your bench or in your discard pile. Which is very nice because you can access a very nice array of attacks just from a single Pokemon. And we also have Miraculous Duo GX dealing 200 damage, and if you have 1 extra energy attached, which is not difficult at all, you get to heal all damage from all of your Pokemon in play. So we have Regizard as one of the main compadres for Mewtwo and Mew, with the attack Outrage, dealing 30 plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Flare Strike dealing a straight up 230 damage as well for 4 energies, and then Double Blaze GX allowing you to access a humongously powerful GX attack that can take down any GX Pokemon. Now, they also used these other tag team, the Espeon and Deoxys GX, 260 HP. The Psychic Club attack does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your bench Psychic Pokemon, so technically you could be hitting for 160 at any given point. However, Cross Division GX is a real winner here because you get to place 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like, so you get to access bench damage, which is really awesome. And if you have at least 3 extra energy attached to it in addition to the attack cost, you get to place 20 damage counters instead. So for a single Psychic and 5 Fire, which is not difficult for the deck to achieve, you can actually get a lot of work done on your opponent's bench or anything that might have survived an earlier hit. Now we also have Larios for its Tag Purge attack, preventing damage from other attack teams, and Clear Vision GX, eliminating your opponent's GX attack for the rest of the game. We have Jirachi GX to remove weakness from your Psychic Pokemon by the ability Psychic Zone, and then Star Search can be situationally useful as well to keep powering up or get an extra energy attachment down. We have Soul Gallo GX with the attack Turbo Strike, dealing 120 damage and powering up a benched Pokemon as well with 2 basic energy cards from the discard pile. And then we also have Magcargo GX, the 210 HP, not relevant of course, but the attack Lava Flow deals 50 damage, and you can discard any amount of basic energy cards attached to this Pokemon, and this attack does 50 more damage for each card you discard in this way. So it's essentially, I guess it's technically better than Dragonite because you can deal the same amount of damage. It does cost 1 more energy. It's actually less cost effective than Dragonite because you have to get rid of the 5 energies to deal 300 damage. It is better against things that have psychic resistance, such as Dark Box Pokemon, because if you get rid of 5 energy, that's 300 damage. Minus the resistance, you still get the KO. And the Burning Magma GX attacks, those are really nice tech for those pesky, annoying mill decks like Shedinja or like the Oranguru control deck that made top 8, because you discard the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck for a single fire. Now we also have Nagnadel GX for the Venom Shot attack, where we can snipe something for 170 damage on the bench. And we also have Cobalion GX for its attack Iron Rule GX, where junior opponents next turn their Pokemon can't attack. So it's not only that you prevent damage, but they actually can't do things like Full Blitz to power up. They can't do things like Tandem Shock to paralyze. So there's potential there. Now I'm very surprised it didn't take advantage of the ability Metal Symbol and combined or made these energies rainbows instead to get that benefit and be less worried about the paralysis. But in the end, it ended up working out for them. Triple Tetene GX allows for going through the deck very quickly and very nicely, and then the single Marshadow allows you to bench it and always be safe from a power plant, ruining your fun, along with Red Knuckles being actually pretty decently useful against the Nagnadels that did show up in big numbers in Blacephalon GX decks. Now, supporters wise, we only have 6 for Welder and 2 builds analysis. This is where I deviated greatly from them. From their list, I had 4 Coach Trainer as well. They instead opted to play Acrobikes and then relied on that extra Tetene. Same concept, I guess, just different approach. And then they also have the 4 Cherish Ball, the single Electromagnetic Radar, the triple Mysterious Treasure to search for the right Pokemon and discard them. I especially like the single copy of Radar, because usually towards the end, you want ways to discard Pokemon, but you don't want to search for Psychic or anything else. You're just looking for a Tetene to keep drawing. For Pokegear helps with hitting those supporters. Triple Giant Hearth is super good in order to combine with the Welder. 2 Switch to get out of paralysis, 4 Custom Catcher to target the right Pokemon. The single Fire Crystal goes well with the 8 Fire Energies, and then 3 Psychics to be able to use Tack Purge, Venom Shock, and also Miraculous Duel, along with Cross Division and Psychic Club. So pretty powerful deck overall, very versatile. Thanks to the ability Perfection, and a really powerful deck overall, and now being the world champion. Now in second place we did have Shintaro Ito, former 2016 world champion, with his very unique Blacephalon GX deck. Now he has the 3 Blacephalon GXs, 180 HP and Ultra Beast. The main focus is of course Mind Blown, where you get to send fire energy to the Lost Zone, and for each fire you send, you get to deal 50 damage, so you get to control how much damage you deal. And then with the B-Strings, you actually get to get a lot of energy into play, along with the Welders very quickly. Bursting Burn is also a pretty nice attack. By confusing and burning, we saw that attack being utilized quite a lot defensively, especially in the match against Torch Reklev, where a 50-50 chance of not attacking is usually a very bad situation to be in. And finally we have Burst GX to prevent ourselves from having to play like weird 8-price games and stuff, depending on how our opponents decide to use their attackers, but it's a very nice option to have. And anytime you hit a fire energy by discarding it from your prizes, you actually, or any energy rather, you actually get to attach it, which is very useful. Now we also have 2 copies of Heatran GX. This is definitely a surprise Pokemon. It's seen a lot of play in Japan. The Burning Road ability, once you're in turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to become your active Pokemon, you remove any number of fire energy from your other Pokemon to it. So it's very nice that you can just bench it and power it immediately. Steaming Stomp does 130 damage straight up, which is a very nice number to be hitting. And then Hot Burn GX does 50 damage times the amount of fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So it goes really well with the ability Burning Road. It goes really well with with the B-Strings. And it's especially powerful because if Heatran manages to eliminate a threat with Hot Burn and survive the turn, then all that energy can simply be recovered. Can simply be used for Mind Blown, or if it gets taken down, then charging up can recover a lot of the energy. So it's a really good way to use a big attack and not have to get rid of all the energies to the Lost Zone and be able to use them or utilize them for further damage. Now we have Nagnadel, of course, with the charging up ability to get back energy from the discard pile, and then Turning Point being very useful as well, especially when at 3 prize cards you get to deal 160 damage, and no psychic energy requirement is great as well. We also have the 2 Nagnadels with Ultra Conversion You may discard an Ultra Beast, and then if you do, you draw 3 cards. So X's Nagnatels, X's Nagnatel GX can be discarded in order to get that extra card draw. And then we also have the 1 Psychic and the 1 Beast Energy, so that you can Venom Shot by discarding 2 energies from this Pokemon and finish off a game, possibly by sniping at the Dedenne or something else. Single Mew to help with Pikarom, a single Dedenne GX to help with the draw. And then supporters wise, Shintaro played 4 Welder, 4 Cynthia, a single Lily, and a single Hapu. So 10 supporters overall, a very healthy amount combined with the Dedenne. And the very heavy surge that this deck plays with the Ultra Space, the Heat Factory for extra draw, the 4 Mysterious Treasure, and the 3 Cherish Balls. 4 Custom Catchers, of course, to target, but can also be used to draw. Triple B-String to get out the energy at the right time. I'm very surprised this is not at a 4 count, but the deck is very tight on space. Single Reset Stamp to help with those late game situations. And then 14 basic Fire Energy, the single Psychic I mentioned, and the Beast Energy. I will say I was very surprised Shintaro did not end up winning the final match. I did not watch. I know there was a penalty involved in game 1. I know game 2 he drew very awkwardly. But in my experience, Fireman Ems has a pretty terrible matchup against Blacephalon. And nothing that I saw in Henry's list actually made up for that. So I was very surprised to see Shintaro get taken down in the final. But such is the game we play, right? Now next up we have Reshitord, as I've labeled this deck, with an ability-based Reshiram Charizard deck. 270 HP. Outrage deals a lot of damage as long as you are damaged by dealing 30 plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Flare Strike, a very solid 230. Not quite enough to deal with attack teams, but still a pretty powerful amount. And then we have Double Blaze GX dealing 200 damage. And if you have 3 extra energy, 3 extra fire energy attached, then you get to deal 300 damage, and you get to avoid any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So a very nice amount. Taking out tag teams is much harder than before, and that's where Turtonator comes in. After you have exhausted your energy in play through Double Blaze or powering up multiple Flare Strikes, you can use Explosive Jet to clear up that energy, dealing 50 damage for each energy you discard from any Pokemon you want. And then we also have Victini Prism Star with its Infinity attack, which deals 20 damage for each basic energy card in your discard pile. So there's a lot of synergy between the heavy energy requirements and the discard and the energy recovery as well, along with Heatran GX, of course. Once again, very powerful inclusion into the new fire decks, Burning Road allowing you to move fire energy from other Pokemon to Heatran using Hot Burn GX. It's similar to Double Blaze, but you can do it like it deals the exact same damage for 6 energies. You can deal less if you need to, but it's also a 2 prizer, so sometimes that is worth the risk, or that is worth the trade-off. Trading your 6 energy, knowing you're going to lose a Pokemon, but you're going to lose 1 less price rather than 3 from the Reshiram. The deck does run on a 4 Jirachi and 3 Dedenne engine, which is super consistent. And we do have the 2/2 Ninetales line as well. The Nine Temptations ability, you may discard 2 fire energy from your hand, and if you do, you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So a really nice ability, makes up for the fact that the deck does not have Custom Catcher, but the super high fire energy count definitely allows you to take advantage of Ninetales, especially when combined with the Giant Hearth, which immediately finds you the 2 fire energy you need. Now we do have 4 Welder as the only supporters in the deck, along with 1 Palpat, so more than 4 Welders in one game are definitely possible, and is what the deck is aiming towards. We also have the Heat Factory to draw extra cards, we have the Acrobikes to keep digging, we have the switches and the escape boards to get Jirachi out of the active spot in those clutch situations, and we even have healing through the form of Super Scoop Up, which also allows us to get energy back into hand to re-welder down onto the bench. Or onto any Pokemon rather. 4 Cherish Balls allow us to search for our Dedennes, our Reshiram, and our Heatran, and then we have our Palpat as well to recycle those Welders, along with Pokemon Communication to search for that peculiar Turtonator, along with setting up our Ninetales. So pretty powerful deck. I was very happy that Tord made top 4. I know he works very hard, as do many other people, but I know, especially after seeing Tord play and how much it meant to him to make top 8, I was very happy for him. And then we have Blaine Hill's Green's Registrar deck. So the top 4 was all dominated by fire-based decks. Green's Registrar, as we all know, is based on Green's Exploration, where if you have no Pokemon with abilities, you can search for 2 trainer cards and put them into your hand. This goes very nicely with the 4 Volcanions, which do not have an ability and can power up Registrar with a first starter by attaching 1 or 3 fire energies, depending on if you want first or second. And we have Reshiram once again with the same attacks as the previously mentioned ones. I won't go over it again. But we do have the 4 greens and the 4 welder, the backbone of the deck, the reason this deck really works. And actually this is wrong. Yeah, because there were no choice helmets. I forgot to take those out. And I know there was at least 1 Fire Flint, and there's another card I am missing here. So give me just 1 second. Energy Spinner. Okay, yeah, that's the one. So Energy Spinner is pretty nice because it allows you to search your deck for a fire without the harsh discard from Fiery Flint. I really like the combination of Giant Hearth and Fiery Flint, because Giant Hearth as a stadium is very powerful. If you get 2 uses out of it, it's as good as a Fire Flint. If you get more, then it's an even better Fire Flint, but sometimes you do need those extra fire energies guaranteed in your hand, and the extra thinning from the Fire Flint. Now this deck plays 5 different stadiums, 1 Giant Hearth, 1 Heat Factory for draw, 1 Lysander Labs to remove annoying tool cards from hurting you, a single power plant to combine with a reset stamp, especially later on, can be very powerful against a lot of decks. And then we also have the single Shrine of Punishment to get that little bit of extra damage on your opponent's GXs. Now, 4 Pokegear help with the backbone of the deck. The single Lusamine allows, once again, for extra welders and extra greens, which is very nice. 4 mixed herbs, 4 great potions for maximum healing, 4 custom catcher to target down the right Pokemon, and then 4 acrobat helps with the draw, double cherish ball helps with finding that Reshizard early on, and then the triple fire crystal is very nice recovery with the 11 fire energies that this deck does run. So that's the other top 4 deck. I believe Blaine Hill got 3rd place and toured top 4, but technically they both get the same pricing. And then we have the 5th place Pigrom deck. I myself played Pigrom. I will go over my deck later on. I did post a list on my social media if you want to check that out. But we do have Pigrom, Jirachi based Pigrom, which I actually really like, with a very peculiar Sigilyph GX. But Pigrom, with a full blitz attack, you get a lot of energy into play. You get to thin by dealing 150 damage and looking for 3 lightning energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Tack Bolt, a very powerful attack as well, dealing 200 damage, and if you have 3 extra lightning energy, 170 damage to a benched Pokemon. So all that increased Dedenne usage definitely makes Tack Bolting very enticing. However, 200 damage is actually not quite enough right now. And without Choice Band, getting to 1 hit KO other tag teams that have 270 HP or more is actually very difficult, because getting triple Electro Powers in hand is no easy feat. Now we do have double Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX, 260 HP. The attack Tandem Shock, very powerful. If you were on the bench and you became active, then you deal an extra 80 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So there's a lot of nice energy with this, plus reset stamp. Very nice attack for sure. And then we also have Lightning Ride for some really high damage output, dealing 150 damage for 3 energies. But if you have 2 extra energies, you deal 100 more, and you get to switch to the bench, right? So that's where the Sigilyph GX comes in. The ability Mirror Counter really protects you from anything your opponent might try to do. Usually what you end up going towards, what you end up going out into rather, after you use Lightning Ride GX, or what I used to do, is go out into a Dedenne and assume you're gonna lose it, or Zeraora or Zapdos even, trying to only give up 1 prize. But Sigilyph GX definitely punishes your opponent for getting a 1-hit KO, and if they don't KO the Sigilyph, then it's definitely good news for you. And it being weak to lightning makes it especially good in the mirror match, because sometimes you put your opponents into a checkmate scenario where if they attack, they lose, and if they don't attack, they also lose. So Seagull GX, a very nice inclusion into the deck. We have the Zeraora for the free retreat with the Thunderclap Zone ability, and also can attack with Plasma Fists on occasion. We have the double Detene for support, the single Zapdos as a non-GX attacker, the Coco Prism Star, which makes the deck work very nicely and flow very nicely, and in my case it decided to live in the prize cards for pretty much the whole tournament. And we have of course our triple Jirachi to Stellar Wish and get the cards that we need. Now it's pretty weird to see Jirachi in a Lighter Lab Space deck and with a skateboard, but it's only one skateboard. It does play 4 switching cards, so it should be fine. 4 Lily, 3 Vulcan are the backbone of the deck, and we have the Cyrus, which if you time it well, you have your Jirachi active, you play the Cyrus, your opponent chooses 2 bench Pokemon and shuffles the others, and all cards attached to them into your deck. So it's actually pretty powerful against heavy bench decks, which is pretty much all of them, honestly. It can be pretty powerful against Darkbox, it can be pretty powerful against Blacephalon, in the mirror match, against Malamar. Pretty much every deck that's not Green's Registard, Cyrus is a very nice card to have included, and pretty nice deck card overall. Triple Radar, that's the one thing I'm not too happy about. I feel like 4 Radar would be really good, but the Cherish Ball is needed in case you need to specifically search for the Sigilyph for that lightning right turn. 4 custom catchers, the one-off Stadium Nav to search for Thunder Mountain. Very few, well not very few, one less energy switching card than I would have liked, but still pretty good. The double Pokemon Communication to search for Coco Prism Star and or Zapdos, and then of course 4 Electro Powers to increase our damage output. So overall a good old Pikarom deck with Jirachi. I really like this version of the list. And yeah, now onto the last deck, the weirdest deck out of all the ones that made top 8. The DDG guys did it again with a very peculiar deck. They really like this control aspect of Pokemon, and so they based their deck around Oranguru's resource management to be able to use cards like Crushing Hammer and Chip Ice Axe, and they also decided to run the Pidgeotto engine. Yeah, by having 4 Elms training method. You can search for Pidgeys, but you can also search for Pidgeottos because they do have 60 HP. And the ability Ermail, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and then you put one of them into your hand and you put the other card on the bottom of your deck. So you get extra cards, 1 extra card for each Pidgeotto, but you also get to look at 2. So you look at 8 new cards every single turn where you get to keep 4, so that's really powerful rather than just straight up drawing 4. You also have Girafarig to get rid of attackers from you, to get rid of energy from Malamar. You do have 2 Articuno GXs to help with the pricing issues, but to be able to use the Legendary Ascent ability to promote this Pokemon immediately, and then use Skull Crush GX to discard all energy from both active Pokemon. This is especially powerful because lately all the tag teams are wanting to use their plus attacks. A lot of Welder decks are relying on Welder, and we are seeing 4, 5, or 6 energy attacks being very common. So immediately removing all those energy from play is a very powerful thing to do. Now the engine does run on 4 Professor Elm's Lecture. I said training method earlier, I meant Professor Elm's Lecture. Research your deck for 3 Pokemon 60 HP or less, reveal them and put them into your hand. So you try to do that as often as you can in order to set up your Pidgeotto engine to go through your deck as quickly as possible. It can also find the Ditto, it can also find the Mew. It can't find Oranguru, but they do have Pokemon Communication as well for that. And with 4 Oranguru it shouldn't be that big of an issue. 4 Acrobat help with the draw, along with the 2 Mars to discard random cards from opponent's hand. The 2 Cynthia helps with the setup. The Brock's Grid is pretty useful to recycle Oranguru's energies and whatnot, and maybe even the Mew if needed. And then this deck does not ever take any prize cards, so Lieutenant Surge will always allow you to play extra supporters, which is very nice. I'm surprised that no Lusamine. But they do have Palpat and Oranguru to use resources. The double power plant helps in stopping things like Mewtwo, things like opposing Detenes, and the Chip Ice Axe allows you to control your opponent's top deck and therefore preventing them from getting what they need and potentially decking them out or exhausting them out of energy with Crushing Hammer. Like if you have infinite Crushing Hammers, eventually you will flip enough heads to remove all your opponent's energy from play. The custom catchers help in trapping something in the active spot as well. And especially without Kuzma anymore, decks have a much harder time retreating and finding switching cards as well, or feeding switching cards even. And then the reset stamp helps you to control the pace of the game and try to prevent your opponent from getting too far ahead before you eliminate all their energy. The recycle energy is very nice because it's an infinite energy you always get for Ranguru, even after it goes down. And then the triple waters help with Articuno GX. So all of these decks, I will be trying to live stream them throughout this week. If everything goes well, I should be able to live stream tomorrow, Tuesday, the different world decks that I just talked about just now. And it's not that I didn't want to feature the other two decks, it's just that they're repeats. Yeah, it's another Reshizard Greens and it's another Mewtwo and Mew GX. But I might end up playing them at some point, and I will also be playing with my own Worlds deck. So that will be all for the review, guys. Make sure you check out Potown Store if you want codes to build these decks. Get a 5% discount if you use the Tablemon code when checking out. And if you're planning on buying these cards, you can use our affiliate link of TCG Player. And it's a very nice way to help support the channel. You don't have to do anything other than buy the cards that you were already going to buy, but just using the link down below. You can even have them ready on your card. Use the link down below, right at the top of the description, and I get a small kickback from your purchase, which of course always ends up helping out the channel, and it's very appreciated. It's a great way to support the channel, even if you're not like in a position to donate directly or subscribe or whatever on Twitch, then it really does make a difference. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll catch you guys on our streams or on a new video. Bye bye.